Welcome to the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
Hey, can we, this is going to be a Halloween episode. Can we get some Halloween music for this? We don't have to have this Love Boat music going when we do Halloween's episodes, right?
I guess I could cut it in after the fact.
Could we
Is
have
that
done
a separate track?
Could you have done
What's
like
the
the
sound?
You want to do a toilet flushing?
how about the Friday the 13th? Just to get the every kill sound.
Or the Halloween. The Halloween music would be perfect.
Just change the music after the fact?
Can we
Oh,
put
yeah.
in tubular
Oh, you can.
bells?
Oh, yeah, it's on a separate track.
I think Halloween episode
Also,
should
since
have
this
its
is a
own
Halloween
sound.
episode, Andy, do you think we could have a few people on?
If they're here. Only if they're in the room right now can they talk.
I wonder if there's anybody else in this room with me, Andy.
and Brian.
I'm going to introduce some people. To my left, we've got Jimmy. I was going to say his last name. I won't say his last name. He's brothers with our producer,
He's
Brian.
brothers with Papa Bad Kitty.
Say hi, Jimmy. Hello. He's all the way here from Buffalo. We've got Anthony again in the studio, all the way from Denver, Colorado. No one can see you doing the peace sign. Say
Good
something.
evening.
There you go.
Good
And from
evening.
all the way in
He's wearing
Pennsylvania,
sunglasses.
we've got our buddy Dan. Say hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
There he
you
is,
go.
Dan.
Dan has made it here for the first time. We've talked about him a lot of times, mostly in bad ways, but now you can.
There you go.
Now you know why. So we're here
No,
to
Dan
talk
heard the
about,
Conan podcast yesterday, and he said, "I gotta be on,"
I did
and that's
hear
what got him
I
here.
gots to be
and
a
if you're
part of
listening
this.
to this way in Halloween, you'll be like, the Conan one, that was months ago.
Wasn't that their
What
first
the
one in
fuck?
season 2? So the actual movie we're doing today is Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D.
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 It's an introduction to 3D with some really, really bad 3D.
I did not watch this in 3D today.
I didn't
That was
either,
my
but-
first question. Did you see it in 3D?
But
I
you
don't
do
ha-
see where they tried to attempt the
Oh
3D.
boy, do you see that? I actually wrote that down.
Boy,
It's in my
howdy.
notes. You want me to bring that up on my notes right
Yeah,
now?
I believe it,
All
but
right,
that's great that he.
Let me just see.
This is
in
the
my
second
notes.
time he's got notes.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
what the other one was that he had notes for. Do you remember what
I'll
that
tell
was
you right
for?
now, it was E.T. because I said, wow, that's big mushrooms.
Which,
That's
by
in
the
my
way,
notes right
E.T.
there.
really holds up, man.
All right, so
Oh, I saw that
my
recently with
my
my
notes
daughter.
about I say the terrible 3D, the eye when he's like the eye, so he's like shoving the eye in their face. The mouse when the mouse just comes walking on the thing, going right at their face, and the popcorn.
The
he
popcorn
left
was
the top of the
ridiculous.
popcorn off, and the popcorn's just popping. And he's
It was the
trying to-
most
Oh, yeah, that's so
ridiculous
scary.
popcorn. That popcorn was coming up like you wouldn't have believed.
Oh,
It
I was like,
insane.
no one makes popcorn like that. No one takes the cover off the popcorn.
And how
It
old was
pops
that
it-
guy?
Yeah, that's another. I said,
He was in the back of the van smoking that bong. I was like, who
is
the hell is this?
I said, who is this cast? We got the hippie stoners with these young kids.
It was like it was
Terrible
somebody's
cast.
like their aunt and uncle or something. I didn't know.
This
who
was
it
do you want to read the synopsis of this movie?
I'll give you a quick
Is this
eye-
a movie that doesn't need a
This movie is
synopsis?
rated R. It was released August 13th, 1982. Not sure when we were releasing this one,
About
but around
maybe
that time.
in September-ish.
It originally was released on a Friday the 13th, the only one that year. There was only one Friday the 13th that year, and that was when it was.
They should have really released it around Halloween.
An
but-
hour and 35 minutes, directed by Steve Miner. The IMDb description is Jason Voorhees stalks a group of friends who just arrived to spend the weekend at a cabin near Crystal Lake.
Near Crystal Lake.
That is.
Not at Crystal Lake.
Well, because it
Near
was
Crystal Lake.
Higgins
That's what-
Haven
yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, it was Dana
it-
Kimmel was something happened to her there when she was younger, correct?
So Dana Kimmel's the main girl, right? She's Christy
Kimball's-
or whatever.
Spoiler alert, Dana Kimmel is the one who survives. This is also the
I don't
last
think we can spoil a movie.
This is
that's
also the
40 years
last
old.
Friday the 13th that only has one survivor.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Is that really a thing?
That's what I read today.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
there's some trivia I didn't know.
I mean, I'll believe you. I'm going through my head right now trying to figure out who survived all the rest of the movies, which I, can
think
probably do.
Was it
but
didn't
kinda gave up
Dudley
after
make it
3.
from one movie to the next?
in 5, Dudley survived along with the girl, and then in 4, Corey Feldman and his sister survived.
Yeah, see, so they made it along
And
with the
in
other
6,
survivor. Yeah, there was
Oh,
other.
I forgot
Jason-
about Corey
in
Feldman.
6, Jennifer Cook and her boyfriend survived.
Andy is a
Yeah.
Friday the 13th savant.
Well, I was gonna say,
Dan
I-
did just get the box set though, right?
I did get the box
You did
set.
get the box
Have you
set.
watched
Beautiful.
any of the box set yet?
No,
No,
I
you
have
haven't
not
watched it
even
yet.
opened it,
I want
but-
to kind of know what the quality of that is.
Yeah, was there any special? What was inside that was other than
It's,
the DVD?
it's loaded. I mean, first of all, the fact that they got all the movies, depending
Since they have rights to New
Exactly.
Line and
Are they
Paramount and
Blu-ray?
stuff like that.
They're Blu-ray.
Oh, Fancy.
And it was all
It's got to be a
12
lot of
them?
bonus. I mean, a lot of
all
bonus
of
stuff.
Is
on
it
there.
like even like
Wait.
Even
There's only 12?
Even the remake is in there.
I
The
figured there would be
terrible remake.
13.
You would think
well, you know
so.
what the funny thing about it is there have been 12 movies, and they were talking about like I actually read
12,
recently.
yep.
Last 2 weeks ago was a Friday the 13th. There was
Yes.
there was a
Yeah.
Friday the 13th
Yeah.
recently.
About a week ago, yeah.
So I was watching them on AMC and I'm online, and there's like it's in development hell. Sean Cunningham,
Yeah, he's
starting
the guy.
Friday the 13th, and the writer of the original ones. They're both battling over the rights now. This movie, the original Friday the 13th, is now 42
years old.
So
yeah.
we're talking about people that are in their 70s now fighting over the rights to make the next Friday the 13th.
But you got to make the 13th. You have to make
well,
the
that's
13th.
the thing. The next one, they want to just call it Friday the 13th, part 13, and they can't come
That's a
together
great name.
to
I
like.
love that name.
They can't come together to make that all happen.
That's also
Can't everybody
Sabbath
just
put out
play
the
nice and
13th
get
album,
along?
Remember?
Yeah.
that?
What's that?
Sabbath had 12 albums. They wanted to put out 13.
And
13.
then, didn't Megadeth have the album 13 also,
They
but
did
it wasn't
too,
their
yeah.
13th
They
album.
did.
They just
No,
called
it
it 13.
He
So
probably,
anyway.
he probably meant that he had 13 different drummers.
David Ellefson coming up soon for you.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah.
I want
Are you
shake his-
going to that?
Oh yeah, I'm
is that-
going just for
We're
him.
going, dude.
It's in
Yeah.
Atlantic City.
What is
Classic
it?
I'm
Rewind.
getting
Is
Scott
this,
Baio.
When is
Which
this?
one's this?
It's
What's it
called
called?
Classic Rewind
Classic
Weekend or
Rewind
something
Weekend.
like that.
Richard Tyson.
When is this?
It's in
June
Atlantic
24th,
City, end of-
25th,
end of the-
26th.
end of June. End of June.
Oh.
You won't be.
Why,
here.
you coming
I
back?
won't be here.
You're gonna fly back from Colorado to go to some
I might-
stupid convention.
I might fly back from Cabo San Lucas just for it. I don't
There
know.
you go. We'll be here.
We'll be here? Okay.
We'll be podcasting
All right.
that
It's
Saturday
worth
if
it.
you're around.
I might be living in Cabo by then, but I'll come back.
So Friday the 13th, part 3. Any cast people that we should know about? Because
Well, I was going to
know
have you
love
give that
cast.
little synopsis of the movie to help the people who haven't watched it recently. Just to give it a little.
Oh, the
What I was,
synopsis, yeah.
what I was going to say about
we need
this,
to know that.
Jason kills people.
no, I
In
didn't.
3D.
But yeah, right. This movie had nobody that I recognized. I mean, the first one had Kevin Bacon. The fourth one has
I
Corey
had a little bit
Feldman
extra,
and-
some
and,
extra of Kevin Bacon though too, right?
Oh, it has Kevin Bacon's boner. Yeah, if you watch part 1,
Ooh.
you get a good shot of his erect penile in his speedo. And part 4 was
And I got to say,
Corey
Kira Sedgwick,
Feldman.
you're a lucky woman.
Well, I have a question. If you could
Crispin
look it
Glover
up,
was in part 4 too.
did it pull in a lot of money? This one. What was
Enough
the
to make
box
a
office?
sequel.
I didn't look up the price. We don't
The
really
reason
look
I
it up
asked is
anymore.
because that horrible Halloween 3 season of the
Season
Witch
of the Witch,
came
yeah.
out, which was a departure from. I mean, it wasn't even about Michael Myers.
Right.
And then I feel that Friday the 13th Part 3 did really well, and then that started the craze of just
I know,
sequel after sequel for both of these
I
franchises.
read something today when I was watching this that this was the first movie to knock E.T. out of the number 1 spot. Now we
Really?
know that E.T. came out in June because we
Yeah.
did that podcast. This movie didn't come out till August. So E.T. was number 1 for 2 months, and Friday the 13th
Friday the
Part
13th knocked
3
E.T. out?
knocked
I
E.T.
never
out of the
knew
number
that.
1
Also,
spot.
E.T. was in the theaters for a full year
That's crazy because now it's like
Yeah.
a month and a half.
It's 2 minutes and
it's
it's
done.
gone.
because they got to rush it to like get it on demand so you can rent it, buy it.
Now it's
digital.
just put it on
blah, blah,
streaming.
blah,
HBO, just put it on
and
HBO
get it
Max,
everywhere
boom,
you can
done.
get it.
So yeah,
Like Batman was in the theater for 45 days. They put it
The
on-
Batman, right?
The
Or
Batman.
The Batman.
which is really good. by the
I
way.
enjoyed it.
It's very good.
I have not seen it yet. That is
long.
on my list.
Brian.
Mike, you know what? My parents
It's
saw it
awesome.
and they loved
it's
it.
Great.
So I got the budget and the gross.
Okay.
So it cost $2.5 million to make.
Okay.
Wow.
That seems high because I saw this movie today.
And it,
It's a 3D.
it made over $36 million.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even with
that's-
Then
marketing,
you got to
and
do. You
everything.
have to do a sequel. I mean, that's 82 money as well. You
Yeah.
gotta think
I-
about that.
So
I bet you that's what led to like just them churning out these sequels
Were
for
there-
both of
It
these
keeps making
franchises,
money.
for all these franchises, really. But those are the 2 big ones.
was there a bankable star in this movie?
No, none.
None, right?
I
There was not
do
one
have the
person.
lead,
It's been so
Dana
long.
Kimmel. She was in 3 very special episodes of.
The Love Boat?
Different strokes.
Yes, Andy, you got it.
Nice.
Did she get touched by Gordon Jump, Jason?
Nah, she
Please
wasn't in
tell me
any
she
of
got
those.
molested.
At the bike shop?
Let me see. I got her in here somewhere. I got to find where I have her written down in my notes because I had a few people here. Dana Kimmel. Okay, she was in 3 episodes of Different Strokes. The first one was a ski weekend where she goes away with Dana Plato, Kimberly.
So she's
And
friends with
She's friends with Kimberly, and they go away and they meet up with some boys. So they're having like a co-ed ski party.
And do they-
And Mr. Drummond and Willis show up.
Oh, to bust her
to
because,
bust her,
because
yeah.
Kimberly's away with boys.
Yeah, and then the second one
Little
was
do they know what Kimberly would get up to
when
later.
Kimberly is about to graduate Dana Kimmel wants to take her to go to Europe with her and live there for a year before they go to
Stupid
college.
question. Playing the same character? Like,
Yeah, she's still her friend.
Still the same
Yep.
friend.
She played the same
person?
character all 3 episodes.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then the 3rd episode, she pretends to be Kimberly's roommate in front of her dad because Kimberly's moving in with a boy. So,
With a boy?
with a boy.
With a boy?
Boys are the worst.
Boys just ruin everything.
Goodness gracious. With a boy.
But yeah, so 3 very special
So
episodes of Different
she's
Strokes.
somebody. And no one else in this movie was anybody, right? No one ever. did anything.
I don't remember anybody.
I looked up
Yeah.
everybody as I was going through and nothing hit.
No, not really. I mean, you had that's Tracy Savage. She was like an episode of
She was
Happy
pretty
Days.
savage.
10 episodes of Little House she was in. That was like her biggest thing.
I kind of
so.
think Harold was a great actor.
Yeah, that
Which
was
one
Richard
was-
Susskind.
Which one was Harold?
Richard Susskind. That was the guy in the beginning. Him and
Oh, the guy at that was sitting on the John
Terrible
and stuff
school
like that.
storekeeper. Yeah, he was terrible.
he was eating everything and carrying that rabbit.
Carrying the rabbit. The rabbit was sitting in their produce.
And then he opened the donuts and then he ate one and threw it at her and then he ate the rest of it. Was,
Well, he threw that at her in 3D.
yeah, it was 3D.
Yeah.
Oh, so the donut flew at the screen.
You're like,
You're like,
"Oh, that was a donut.
Well,
calamity."
flying
That, and then
donut.
he got to see the snake.
Great.
The 3D in this was a disaster. I remember the first 3D movie.
My
I
favorite
saw
3D in it
theater.
was the arrow.
Well, that was actually pretty
That's what
good.
I'm saying, that
when
was
she
actually-
shot the harpoon at. What's up?
I remember that.
What's
No,
up,
I'm no the arrow. I remember the arrow. I remember the arrow.
I said
it.
I'm remembering the arrow from like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
going like this.
Well,
and
that
like,
is actually the first on-screen appearance of Jason wearing the hockey mask.
It took
See,
1 hour into the movie for him to be wearing the
and
mask.
He kills those 2 people at the shop at the very beginning of the movie, and there is like 45 minutes of nobody getting killed in this movie.
How bad is the intro music
Oh,
when the
it's-
credits are rolling? It's so digital. It was so electronic-y,
Yeah.
kind of like.
it was
Totally
1982.
I know, but it was.
so
But they could have been
1982.
better, man.
And
In
they-
1982?
and it's fun
Yeah.
watching the credits.
Yeah,
Because
there was
you
other
know-
music in '82.
You know
not
what?
just
You know what?
electronic.
Vangelis should have done the soundtrack.
Oh.
God rest his soul.
God rest his soul. The credits were so obviously done for a 3D audience because they were coming at you. But when you're watching it in 2022 on not 3D,
Also, the first 6 minutes of this film were the end of part 2. So you got gypped there.
They just regurgitate it. They just
But the second movie started with the first 5 minutes of the first movie. So
Which
this
is
was
funny because
very-
in the 6
so it's a
minutes,
thing.
It's
in
a
the six-
thing.
It was a thing.
in the first 6 minutes, you have a different Jason. That's Steve Dash.
Yeah, he was the.
I
part
met
2
Steve
Jason.
Dash. There's me and Steve Dash. If you want to see, that's
saying,
me and Steve Dash.
all right.
Steve
Look at that.
Martin.
I met Kane
I'll
Hodder.
post that when the episode comes out.
Jason knows people.
But yeah, I met Steve Dash. He held that knife up to my throat and he's like, we took the picture twice because he said that first one didn't come out good. I was like, yes, sir.
I believe Dan's got a Jason story, right? Didn't you meet Kane Hodder?
I met Kane Hodder and I met Doug Bradley, the guy that plays Pinhead.
Yeah, I've seen Doug
Leatherface.
Bradley before.
Nice.
Gunnar Hansen, all at the same
wow.
Fangoria
At the same
festival.
at the Fangoria. Oh my
and
god,
then
that's
I went
great.
to
And the girl was reading Fangoria magazine in this at one
And
point.
it said something about what's his face, the special effects guy,
Godzilla and Tom Savini.
Savini.
Yeah,
It said something about Tom Savini
Yeah.
in the magazine that she was reading. Yeah, but didn't you like have a drink with Kane Hodder or something
Yeah,
like that?
so I went to the bar, had a drink with Kane Hodder,
See, we're leading with this, Anthony.
and Gunnar Hansen was hanging around. I'd met him, and then Doug Bradley walked up, Pinhead, and Kane Hodder introduced. So Jason introduced me and the friends I was with
To Pinhead?
to Pinhead.
How awesome is that?
That's
The coolest
cool.
thing in the
Doug
world.
Bradley is such a cool looking dude too.
He
I
is.
seen it. I didn't meet him, but the
very
guy I was
British.
with, he went up and met him and got his Hellraiser poster signed,
Yeah.
which was really
Doug
cool.
Bradley sounds like a guy that should be playing for the Knicks or something. Like
He
that.
does.
Doug
Like
Bradley.
Sean Bradley.
Now playing Doug Bradley or Bill Bradley.
Or Bill Bradley.
That's
There
why
you
you're
go.
thinking that.
Can we go back and do Con again so I can tell my story from the beginning? No.
No,
Never mind.
it's even better where it is because at the end you're like, oh, by the way.
Oh, by the way,
And
I-
then William Shatner, we're all like, what the fuck?
Wait, let's see if Dan knows the story.
He probably doesn't. He didn't.
What?
listen
I
to
don't
I
the
know
think
that he
story.
met
story.
William Shatner.
Oh, you
Oh, he
know
I saw
does.
the picture.
Yeah.
You sent a picture
Yeah.
once.
Yeah, well, we did the whole podcast. He had a couple Shatner stories, and then at the very end, he tells us, "Hey, yeah, I was at the bar, and guess who comes up to me and introduces himself as Bill." Like that should have been the fucking first thing he said in the podcast.
Although I
Hey.
do have a Friday 13th thing that I do have to share. I went
Please
to
do.
camp in the 70s in a camp called Novi Bosco in New Jersey, North Jersey. And they said they were filming in a part of the camp a horror movie and it was
Friday
Friday
the
13th.
13th.
That's cool.
So I did go to that camp.
Now, they do
Historically,
have-
a
I
New
think-
Jersey horror movie. Yeah.
Once or twice a year, I think they do have a thing where you can reserve, and they have so many people go to the camps, and you
I've
sleep
looked it up
over.
a couple times where
I've
I want to
thought
buy
about it. I
like
think it's pretty
swag
cool.
from and stuff like that. I just haven't, but
Right.
it's
It
something you can
seems
do.
really cool. Like, I wonder if they have like any kind of events where there's like a Jason just walking around every now and then or whatever.
I would not
Opens
have
it,
a good
like, that
time.
would be-
It's funny because I was watching this shitty movie today in the bright sunshine. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, if I was watching this in the Poconos right now, I'd be like scared out of my fucking mind. I'm like, this should be watched in New Jersey. But I was so scared.
I watched it during the day too, and I was just like,
Not the same.
and it was like 90 degrees
not
outside
scary.
too, so it was just.
I want to go
didn't
over my
seem
notes
right.
real quick. This movie has
I also met Lauren Marie Taylor from
wait.
part 2. If you just
Which
one's she?
Okay. She was her.
Oh,
well, who's she from the part 2?
She played
Girl number 3 who gets murdered.
Yeah, the only one I know from that is the girl at the end.
she played Vicky. She was Vicky.
oh, Vicky.
He asked who she played. Don't make me use the C word.
Don't use it, please.
No, Brian
Please.
likes to use it more than I do.
Contentious?
Contemporary.
You want to go have a cigarette?
What?
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That was on time too. Andy, your
Andy's
notes.
looking at notes here.
This is the second time I seriously I got hard when I saw you took notes.
Well, I have terrible 3D. I have at least 45 minutes of no deaths. Ali, the black guy in the gang that comes to steal their gasoline. You got Ali, you got Foxy, and you got the white guy. I don't remember his name. Loco. Thank you. Ali gets hacked by Jason 3 times. That machete goes up and
in the
down
literal sense.
3 times.
Okay.
Whack,
In
whack,
1982.
whack. And then a half hour later, when our girl's in trouble, the main girl, he somehow is conscious, no missing parts to his body. He's got a little blood on the side of his head and is able to distract Jason long enough to get his hand chopped off and then get killed. But why is he still alive? What was Jason hacking on that guy that he did not die?
I got a good one for you. The cabin has electricity,
Yeah.
running water,
I know what you're going to say. I know
a
the next one you're
shower,
gonna say.
and a bath, but it has no toilet.
It's got an
because Chuck
outhouse.
goes to the
Yeah.
fucking outhouse.
Yeah. I think it's
Like they
got
have everything but a toilet.
I think they had an outhouse plus a toilet inside. Chuck just decided
to go out there. Come on, I would not go out to an outhouse.
It was funny that I thought that same thing. I'm like, when he's going into the outhouse, I'm like, isn't that chick in the shower right now? Like, is there no other bathroom in that place? I
Andy.
also said this had a very strong pro-choice message because the girl at the very beginning said she was pregnant, and then that didn't prevent her from getting killed.
But that wasn't
I think
her
that's a
choice,
message.
though.
Well,
It's
you're
still
right.
her choice.
You're
Can I
right.
laugh
It was
at
not a
that?
choice.
Is that okay to laugh
But
at?
the baby
That's okay
definitely
to laugh
died.
at, right?
The fetus definitely died. But it was just so funny. I was like, as soon as she said I'm pregnant, I'm like, are they going to kill a pregnant
She did.
woman?
Why,
Guess
is
what?
that
They
even
fucking did.
why is that even necessary to the script? It's just
Yeah, and they never brought it up
Never
ever
ever
again.
came up again, except one time when they were passing the
Like,
weed
it
around.
could have
I was
at
like,
least-
I'm pregnant. I can't do
they could have
that.
at least made the baby be a baby Jason and
Yep.
just had that in a sequel or something.
So I said
you know?
pregnant
Like a
death.
like a baby with a mask on, with
Jason
a
hacked
hockey
out
mask
3
on.
times.
That would have been great.
Oh yeah, and that half
mini
moon
me.
in the outhouse was gigantic.
Yeah.
You could have stuck his head through it. There's no
And then-
privacy
and
there.
nothing came of that because he didn't go to the bathroom and he didn't get killed in it either because he
Yeah.
came out of there and met his girlfriend and they went into the barn.
was one of those fake-
and didn't get killed in the barn either.
One of
And
those
then
fakes.
walked back. It was during that whole long period where no one was getting killed.
Every time they set it up, you're like,
It was a ton of fake jump scares where it was just
Using
what?
using the 3D at that time.
Yeah, well,
Just
not even with the
do a
guy
little
getting
bullshit.
taking his shit and then there was a lot of nonsense.
Anthony's taking our picture.
I am.
Post that shit.
I am. My brother's asking how the podcast is going, so he's very interested.
Two of
What's
my
his
other notes are
recommendation?
I ranked my favorite Friday the 13th movies while I was getting towards the end of this.
In order, so you have them in order.
I have the first 5, and then after that I had yada yada because it didn't
Yada
matter.
yada yada.
So-
That's when they started having like full names, like
Well,
Jason Takes Manhattan and
Part-
stuff like that, right?
Part 4,
Was there a crab bisque?
The final chapter is the best Friday the 13th.
I agree.
By
That's
far.
4, yes.
And that's
agree.
Corey Feldman. That's Crispin Glover.
Yep.
That's a great.
That's
Friday
also the
13th
cover
movie.
art right there.
And that's yep.
That's the one where it's going through. Yeah,
Anthony, yeah.
And then I have number 6, Jason Lives, as number 2. And that's the one where Arnold Horshack helps resurrect Jason, and then he kills Horshack quite quickly.
So 5 is the fake Jason.
That's the fake Jason with Dudley.
Yep.
Dudley's in the
Dudley
fake,
survives.
Dudley's
fake Jason or faux Jason.
And then I put number 3, this one that we just watched.
I think that's post molestation too for Dudley.
Yeah, it was definitely after different strokes. So then number 3, number 2, number 1 in that order. And then number 7, that was the Jason fights Carrie. Like she had the telekinetic powers.
That's right.
And then I put yada yada after that.
And how many kills did Jason have in the first Friday the 13th?
None.
Very good.
Wow.
Well, I saw Scream too, man. I could answer that. And it was very dumb at the end of this movie that Mrs. Voorhees came out of the lake and dragged the girl down because we knew she was decapitated.
Can we talk about that cop who walks her to the car?
And just like shoves her in the back.
Her in the backseat. And then that other cop turns around and he's like, "You're going to be okay." I was like, holy shit. This is insane.
Do you want to read my top note? I bolded it.
Okay.
Remember I said I had something really important to talk about in this movie?
Jason kills Andy.
So Andy was the guy that kept walking around on his hands, and it's the
why is that guy walking on his hands?
Because it is the best death
Andy!
of any of the Friday the 13th movie
Andy!
ever,
From the
where
shower.
Jason bisects him upside
from the
right
wait,
through,
wait.
His
From
legs,
the crack of his ass all the way down.
And
that's your favorite
instead
kill.
It's the best one ever. And I say this has the two best Friday the 13th kills. That one's the best. When he squeezes the other dude's head for his eyeball.
The eyeball. I do remember that.
That's the second best. Two best.
The fact that Jason is so strong, he's like so weakly walking the way he walks, but then he can grab this guy, pick him up off the ground by his ears almost.
Because he's not like this is not like zombie Jason yet. He's just a regular guy here. He's not.
This is still his first like maniacal weekend or whatever.
He doesn't become a superhero until they resurrect him and he's a zombie.
He's not in space yet. Or
I was going to say
going to hell.
Because when he going back to your favorite 3D part where she shoots the harpoon or he shoots the harpoon and it
that's like the best. That's the most like thought out kill though. It's like
after he kills her, he drops that and he fucking like Clint Eastwood slow rolls it. He's just like kind of like
nice
walking back to the barn. Okay, I killed her. I'm like, what is he doing?
He's taking his time, man. He's methodic.
He was methodic. He was something
to a fault.
He was 25. The guy playing Jason.
How old is Jason supposed to be in this?
Well, no, I'm just saying he looked like he was a lot older when he was walking. It was like De Niro in
I'm just trying to think like. He's been dead for like 25 years at least.
But De Niro was that old man in The Irishman, but he was playing younger.
He's playing younger.
And he tried kicking that guy on the curb.
It was an obvious old man trying to stomp a guy.
And they did it like so far. The shot was so far from above, they could have used it different.
25, 30 years from now, when we finally get to The Irishman, please have me on this because I got a lot of complaints about that movie.
I liked it.
I don't think we're going to do
it. No.
I liked it a lot.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
But the movie went on about a half an hour too long. It's like,
Joe Pesci playing an
Irishman. Done already.
Yeah. I
Pesci
agree.
wasn't an Irishman. Pesci was Buffaloni, the Buffalo mob guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was De Niro.
De Niro was
De Niro was
the
actually half
Irishman.
Irish.
Yeah.
He could play that part. He doesn't have to like lie about being Irish to play that part.
I mean, De Niro is just not the same De Niro anymore, man.
He's fucking 80 years old.
De Niro.
None of us are the
De
same.
Niro is a miserable, cranky old man now.
I want De Niro to play an old mob guy. That's what you want.
De Niro yells at Cloud.
He should give it up, just like Jack has and
Gene Hackman
and all these guys.
I think
Gene
Jack
Hackman
still
did give it up.
Jack still goes to the Laker games.
Nicholson give it up? Is he done?
He hasn't done a movie.
He's done? All right.
And like Sean Connery didn't do stuff for like 20 years.
He does go to
died.
Laker games, though.
He does.
Of course he does.
Well, that's okay. He
he's
can
got-
go out in public.
he's got-
That's what I'm saying. At least he's able to go out in public.
He's got forever
still,
season tickets.
Like
so.
Tim Curry's, he's bad. He can't go out in public.
He's really banged up.
That's terrible. Love him.
Everybody, we'll get old and die.
Tim Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
Tim Curry. Yeah,
He's in a wheelchair.
He's in bad shape.
Really?
I think he is like MS or something like that.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Why didn't we talk
It was-
about that during Clue?
It was being on the sub in Hunt
pretty
for
sure we
October,
did.
man. To
I
get
think,
radiation.
I don't think we did. We did talk for 2 hours and 50 minutes about Clue. Your daughter could have had that in her notes, I think.
Oh.
She had a lot of notes.
I don't remember ever hearing he was in a wheelchair.
Well, I think
We might not have said
that
it. I might have said he was ill. I don't think we said wheelchair.
Oh,
maybe, but
okay.
we did say ill.
Radiation poisoning. Hunt for Red October.
He suffers from mesothelioma.
Miso.
And we're going to do a quick commercial right now. So call this lawyer.
Cue the music.
Don't cue the fucking music. Oh, what are we doing?
We're not over. This is like a 12-minute
don't
podcast.
listen to me. I'm a guest.
She's from
Don't
fucking
listen to me.
Colorado, dude. Dan's got more jurisdiction. He's from Pensy. We're from
Pennsylvania? Yeah.
Where are we at in this movie, Andy?
So, this movie had a lot of great foreshadowing. The gang came and took all the gas out of the van, and of course that came up later when she was trying to drive.
Why
the
did
van.
they like?
Because Shelley drove over the
I know, but like,
motorcycles.
why are you why did he bump in? Why did they come up and take the wallet from them right away? Like they just like wanted to be fuckheads.
They're a bunch of punks, man.
Yeah, but there was no need for
You
it.
have to set up
I just
conflict.
don't like
Gas
when
wasn't even
things.
expensive back then.
It was like,
I wish there was a sign
it was
that
like
said how much gas
85
was
cents
there.
a
And then
gallon.
Shelly
back
was
then.
pissed because she was like, "That was a 20," because she spent $18.50, and then she said, "Keep it." or
And
whatever.
did you notice when they were driving in, when they rolled over that bridge, you saw the one thing buckle, and I was like,
Also,
I've
how
seen this
thin
movie
was
a bunch
the
of times,
how
so
thin
I
was
knew
the
that was gonna
windshield on that Volkswagen Bug?
come. Oh, that Ali smashed it so easily. Yeah.
It was like so. It was like thinner than your glass.
Hey,
It definitely wasn't safety glass.
my glass seems to be filled. It's so empty.
As does
Are you
mine.
holding it up like I'm going to go serve you?
Yes,
do
please.
you want to take a pause to go get something, or
We're
gonna do that.
We're going to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back.
And now we're gonna get back into our scores here.
Good Lord, excuse me.
We lost one person. Jimmy had to leave. Can you pass these
Jason
headphones?
killed him. Jason got him.
Jimmy said one too many things I didn't agree with,
And
and
one more name to the
he had
party.
to
He's
go.
out. He's out.
They got him in
Sunglasses.
3D too.
I saw it coming right at me. I was like, this guy's dead.
That's what they said in South Park. Remember? Hey, it's coming right at me.
Right at me. Are those headphones working for you there, Brian?
Oh, yeah, I can hear now.
And I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
So what are we doing? Friday the 13th part 3 still?
We were finishing up our Friday the 13th part 3 with did I have a Shelley quote I thought was funny.
Please give us a Shelley
Please
quote.
share.
Shelley, maybe the most terrible
The Shelley
Friday the
quote I
13th
had here was
person ever.
would you be yourself if you looked like this? That's what Shelley said.
Yeah, poor
Wow.
Shelley.
How deep?
Shelley was a rough customer.
Oh man, that was great.
He was the nerd that kept scaring them.
Nerd.
Oh, right.
Faking his own death until he wasn't faking anymore. In fact, he's the one that gave Jason his hockey mask because
I think
he donated.
he gave
it
that to
him.
me. That was him.
He didn't. He didn't
gave
give
that to
it
you, yes,
willingly.
he did.
He
died
gifted
for
that to
it.
me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jason here in the studio right now.
Hello. I killed all those people so many years ago. And yes, I'm from
I didn't even know he had an
And he has a
accent.
British accent,
I'm
too.
British.
I thought it was some Jersey.
I should have did my Michael Caine.
Who knew?
Oh, I can't wait for the Death Trap episode.
I guess
where
you
just
would
do
be.
all.
I kept thinking it was Death Wish 2, right?
That's the Jersey
Electric
boy.
Boogaloo?
I kept thinking, there it is. It happened again.
What did he say?
He just said Electric Boogaloo.
because he said someone said 2.
I said 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
It said no matter what movie you mention, if you
Electric
say
Boogaloo.
2, Electric
It
Boogaloo
works.
always
Why does
somebody
anybody
it
say
always
like?
works.
it
Why
comes
does anybody
up.
say like Ocean's 11 2 Rathacon?
The Rathacon?
No one ever says
Wait,
that.
is there an Ocean's 11 too?
Yeah, they call it Ocean's 12.
Ocean's
but
12.
Oh, yeah,
it doesn't,
yeah.
it doesn't
I'm
work.
It's always
So
Electric
wait,
Boogaloo.
so
What
wait,
happened
so
to
wait.
1 through
Breaking,
10?
Breaking 2, The Wrath of Khan.
There you go.
Same ring.
It doesn't have the same ring to it. You know,
Or the Empire Strikes Back. However you
Electric
want it.
Boogaloo.
What,
No.
what year is that actually?
Empire
81.
83.
That was 81.
Or no,
80.
Empire is 80.
No, Electric
Empire's-
Boogaloo.
Empire was 81.
I think it might have been
I thought.
81 or
80 or
something.
81.
No, Empire's 80 because it was 77,
Sorry,
80, and 83.
Andy knows.
Fucking
Andy
relax
knows.
over
Andy
there.
knows.
Sadly, I'm
Andy
talking
knows.
about Electric Boogaloo. too.
Oh, Breaking 2?
Yeah, that's what he
Electric
was like.
Boogaloo, 80.
You want to talk
Jason
Star Wars?
said that both came out the same year, right? Breaking
Yeah,
and Breaking
but they
2.
came out within 1 year of each
Look at
other.
that.
Breaking and Breaking 2, Wrath of Khan. See what
All
we
these
did
Friday
there?
the 13th movies came out like
I
7
saw
months
that.
of
I
each
saw
other.
that.
What's that?
84, they both came out.
Oh, it was 84. So we do have that coming up in a future episode.
Look for our break.
I think we might combine them. We might combine them.
I've never seen Breaking or Breaking 2.
I've seen them.
I saw Breaking.
I've watched some Breaking too.
I've watched
saw
both. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not ashamed.
I've watched all the breakdance movies.
I used to beatbox right along with it, man.
Well, Jason recommended Rad recently, and
It was
I've never
good,
seen
dude.
any
it's amazing.
It holds up.
I saw it way
movie?
back, but I
Rad.
saw it again.
I don't even know.
Oh, it's
Rad is just it's Lori Loughlin, a young Lori Loughlin.
Aunt Becky? Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aunt Becky from
Isn't she
Full
doing
House.
time right now?
She's out.
She was out like in a week, maybe. Maybe.
And why they went after people that donated money to get their kids into
Like the
college?
kids
Isn't
just
that
went-
what everybody does?
I really think that's brilliant. You had your kid photoshopped into some rowing photo or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like
I really didn't
or
see the
crew
crime.
photo. I'm sorry, crew.
I didn't see the crime, but whatever.
I don't think it's a crime because they also donated to the university.
Right.
So
Who doesn't donate to get their kid into college? I've been doing it.
yeah.
How about you, Brian? The only person that's got children of college age. How much money have you donated to colleges to get your kids into college?
17,500,000.
I'm
That's a low
make them
ball.
Pay for
You're
it.
low
themselves.
balling.
What's that?
I make them pay for it themselves.
Really?
I don't have
Oh,
kids.
I
so it
sign
doesn't matter
loans,
to
but
me.
the loans all go back to them.
Oh, you're
He said
terrible.
Lone Star.
Lone Star.
My kids are going to graduate college without any
Can't wait till we get to that movie.
The
Yeah.
Schwartz.
That's pretty good.
It'll be terrible educations, but they'll still graduate. That's if they do it in 4 years. Like Daniel is not on the cuff anymore.
He's in the 6-year plan now?
He's on the
But you
5
said
year.
5 year
Michelle was
plan.
telling me he was
That's
like
not
he's focused now. All his goal
he
is to
did
get
good
this
this
done. Yeah.
semester. He
Yeah.
did really good. So I'm
Hey,
excited
that's
for him.
great. Yeah.
I was on the 17-year
I
plan.
was going to
so
say, when did you graduate?
17
Also,
You didn't fucking graduate no college.
I told you.
finally
You're
you
like
did.
the 37
He
year
lived
plan.
in my room.
I finally did in Colorado in 2002. I finally did.
I want to see that diploma.
Cast on there too.
You should. You really should.
What happened over here?
oh.
We have a
We
weapons
have-
malfunction.
Brian,
Check-
what the
check
hell is going on
1, 2.
here? Everything is falling apart.
Ever since Jimmy left,
Did he leave it like this?
You know what? I think Jimmy
Jimmy, I think he
Jimmy booby
sabotaged
trapped
us.
it.
he sabotaged.
Jimmy titty trapped it. I mean, booby trapped
Yeah,
it.
let go.
Sorry. What? For the love of God, will production please fix this? Oh my God.
This is the kind of
Jamie, can you get in here? Where's that Rogan's guy? Jamie.
Jamie, would you please get in here?
So,
Good one, Jason. Oh goodness gracious!
Cut that. He's gonna cut this out.
This is not going to be in the. This is not going to be in the podcast, is it?
No, I think Brian will cut
he
it.
says he'll edit it, and then it will
Yeah.
come out.
Oh, I know.
Like,
I
dude,
know.
why should
I
I
know.
this
I
nonsense
remember
out, man?
from what I remember from my Fall from Grace podcast.
Thank you.
I said
one?
the first one, the very first one,
The air,
Love
too.
that one.
the very first one when I had the bottle,
Yeah,
the ice,
We all remember
and
that.
I will never.
There's so many podcasts I listen to after the fact. I'm like, Brian, edit this out. He's like, oh, okay. And I'm like,
And he never
why
does.
am I listening
And he never
to
He just
this?
runs out of time.
And you know what's
too.
funny? You know
he
what's
runs out
funny?
of time. You tell me he needs to get a podcast out.
The
and
quick-
then he's like, I got to get it done. And he's like,
Do you
he didn't have
understand
time
how
to
much we
edit it.
pay this guy to do these podcasts and edit these podcasts? And then
$1.298.
Listen,
quality
we need,
of this shit.
We need a lot of patrons to join that Patreon before me and Andy see any money because there's so much going to Brian.
It all
Wait.
goes there.
Wait,
it's one
wait.
funnel right
There's
there.
a Patreon.
Yes.
We're about to set one up. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Oh, he's been setting up. Jason's been setting
Brian's setting it up. He's the producer. Why would I
he's
set
setting
it up?
Well, we have the option on the plan that I have.
By the
Brian,
way,
for the love of humanity,
Is this
get this
like-
going. Come on now.
I seem to remember that we started this.
Would you join?
I
We're over a
totally.
year.
I'll join.
Is this the year episode?
I think we hit a year already, right?
Yeah, I think we started in May.
And this is
Oh
May
wait,
right now.
your anniversary?
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy.
I'm so glad.
More Flintstones, dude. More Flintstones. That's twice.
You
Come
gotta
on.
get. You gotta get T-shirts.
We went way out, and we went.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's
Were
so
you
funny.
there for the beginning? So one
When it
year
all went
of
down, when we're like,
exciting new.
"Hey, did you like the
One year
Love
of this
Boat?
travesty. I love
the
it.
Love Boat."
I absolutely love it.
This is
And you know what?
Walter Lindley.
I have listened to every one, and I've been a part of a few.
Then you're better than me. Oh,
And you know what? I'm a lot dumber because of it, but I love it.
Well, I thought he was
we
going to
provide no.
I thought he was going to do this speech from Billy Madison. I award you 0 points.
0 points.
God have mercy on your soul.
That's the best line.
If I could remember that, I would have done
That's
it.
such a great
I would have
line.
done it. No.
I wish I could remember the whole thing, too. I remember
it's
every
a whole
other
entire.
word.
It's brilliant. No, I've listened to every podcast,
Everyone.
and it's
I
you know
think I've
what
listened to
I
everyone.
and I've been a part of a precious few, and it's been.
I think we're
and-
fun. Aren't I?
and it's been a great
good.
ride.
It is
It's been
good.
a great ride,
It's fun.
gentlemen.
I always live.
Huzzah
I
and
love listening to our
congratulations.
podcast and say, "Man, Jason and Brian are great. Who's that fucking guy talking?" Ah, terrible.
I think the other thing
voice,
too. I'm like,
not
ew,
funny.
I thought I listened through that whole other one.
I think I was telling Brian earlier. You know, I listened to this at the gym, and
That's motivation.
It's
I gotta get this out.
it's
Listen to this
hysterical
in the park
because I'm
while
on
you're
the
fucking
I'm on
boys.
the I'm like on a machine or whatever, and I'm listening to this, and I have to stop because I'm cackling so freaking hard by you guys. I'm laughing so goddamn hard. I have to stop, and I'm laughing out loud, and people around the gym are looking at me going, "Is this guy having a seizure?"
we had some really
You
good
should
love
put it on
boat
speaker for
moments.
everybody.
So.
There have been times I'm at work listening to
You know
our
what,
podcast. I start laughing.
If I did that, I might be
Laughing at
arrested
myself.
because of what
This
these
is
guys
not
are saying.
good. It's
so.
not a good look.
I know.
It's hysterical.
No, but we've had some really, really funny moments during the Love Boat too, man. Like, just-
Luckily, alcohol is usually involved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we did a
and
sober podcast,
our
it would
first
not be
special
funny.
guest was
Sober
Chucky,
podcast would be-
right. That was our first special guest.
Wait.
Chucky was on the podcast.
So a sober podcast would be NPR.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun.
sober podcast would be like, you just be like, damn, my back hurts.
There's been a lot of times where I'm like, oh shit, I'm podcasting now. I got to start drinking now. Got a pregame.
That was
ready.
again the first one. The first podcast I came. I ran upstairs. I grabbed.
Yeah, you
I
did,
grabbed
yeah.
I grabbed a thing of ice and a bottle. And Mari's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go podcast." I
going
ran
live.
upstairs.
I don't mean to
Everything
take us
was-
away from all this nonsense, but
Sorry.
I think there's people out there that just want to hear our ratings on Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, let's
and
get to
not
Friday the
hear all
13th.
this
Yes.
fun
And
stuff.
then,
Sorry.
then we could do
Let's-
our fun podcast
we
together if you want.
We digress.
Let's
So when
start
you-
off with our guests. Friday the 13th, part 3 in 3D. We're doing a 0 to 100% is our scale.
Let me ask you a qualifying question. Would you rate it based on the whole series?
You
Is that
rate
what
it
you're
however
doing?
you want to rate it. You
As
can
an
give a reason
overall
why you rate it, 'cause I'll
movie.
give a reason why what I'm rating it.
As an overall
There's
movie.
a reason
not,
why I'm rating
It's
it
an
what I'm
overall
rating it.
movie,
Yeah.
not based,
Yeah,
not comparing
overall
it to the
whatever,
rest of
whatever
All
you
right.
want to rate it.
not saying, oh, this is better than
It's
this,
not
but
better,
not better than
not
this.
better than
Yeah.
Citizen Kane or Empire, whatever. You rate it how you want to rate it.
You say, hey, it's my favorite horror movie.
If you
It's
say
at
it's
least
better than
favorite
Empire,
horror
I'm gonna
movie.
knife you now.
But we're going to start off with our guests. So, Tony.
You know what? I'm gonna give it. Again, I've seen. I saw it years ago. I remember it vividly. I'm gonna give it a 61%.
That's high.
Yeah, but not a bad.
But you know what
like
though?
it.
It's
like it.
unlike. I mean, what Dan said earlier. If are you gonna rate it on a movie or on the series? I'm rating it on the series.
Yep.
And I enjoy the series as a whole. Not the best, not the worst. I'm gonna put it a little better than half. So 61%.
61%. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm going to go with, I'm going to just get a 58%, I'd say.
It's close.
758.
All right.
I'd say I'm basing that up based on the series. I actually like some of the later ones, even like Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason in
There are
space.
some
They're
fun
terrible.
kills. There's some fun moments in those
There's some
later
fun
movies.
moments
Yeah.
and
Those later
comedy
movies are much more violent. There's much more kills. This one was
You got a little bit more of a nicer
dipping the
budget.
toe in the.
Yeah.
I do like the
violence.
novelty of the 3D. I remember it coming out.
And it's so bad it's good. Like that's, you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Which I'm a sucker for. So I'd say 58.
Like the strings on the bats in Saturday the 14th. I love that.
That's a great
50 out of
Talk
100.
about it upstart.
Yeah, we did. That was one of the
that's an
80s
excellent
movies we
movie.
rambled off. We just missed that because that was 81, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Brian.
But
Brian.
Brian.
I'm gonna do 55 out of
All right.
100.
It's going down.
No,
wait.
but you know what though?
But
But it's on the positive side.
Exactly, because
On the
I
positive
kind of
side.
agree with both of you.
Yeah.
It's just that it was the only Friday the 13th movie I ever saw. So
This is it. Today was the first time you've ever seen
Really?
a Friday
What?
the 13th movie.
Why did he lead with that?
Really?
Why do we just find this
Why
out
did he
now,
lead
man?
with this? We always have somebody that doesn't lead with a story.
For the love of humanity, the producer
Tony,
had this
get him.
only one.
So
Get
you
him.
able
I'll get
to
it for you.
follow the story?
I'm
It
getting-
starts with
let me-
the end of
He's
part
done
two.
it.
He can
He's
follow.
done it.
I'm getting over. Come here, you.
Sure.
It ends. The movie starts with the end of part two. Did you have any idea what was going on?
I mean, not really, but I mean, I've
It sets
heard
it up really
enough
well.
Anecdotes
For the love
over
of
the
okay,
past
you know what? Everything just
40
became
years.
invalid now.
I thought you had seen it before, at least.
You never
once,
saw the
yeah.
first one, or
No,
or
no, I never saw it.
No, okay.
I didn't even know that he didn't get
Okay,
his hockey
I
mask
thought the
until-
producer at
Based
least
on
saw the
watching
first
this
coup.
today, will you watch the others?
I might.
No.
I won't go out of my way.
No.
But if
You know, when you do watch it on a Friday the 13th when it's on AMC.
if we're out in the
No.
woods, then yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I can't wait till we do the Blair Witch Project.
You want me to go first, or you want to go?
Andy
I'll
won't
go.
do that one.
Listen, I love the Friday the 13th franchise. I've seen all of them. I've seen most of them in the theater. This is one of the better ones. That's not saying a lot.
Where's this rank on your list again?
3, I think. I think it was 4, 6, 3.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Four is the best. He's
Okay.
right.
The final
Okay.
chapter,
Okay.
Jason Lives, and then 3D.
All right.
And then I think I went 2-1 after that. And then it was a bunch of mush after that. The later ones,
Mush.
I mean, X.
5 is bad.
Jason versus Fred. 5 is the worst one because it's not Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason.
But it was
Consider-
fun.
I thought it was fun.
It had a lot of good stuff in it.
Yeah.
For what it was, yeah.
The
Jason
remake
Takes
was
Manhattan was bad.
It was
Although
very
We all
bad.
saw it together when that came out.
it was very bad.
It's not too far from Manhattan there in
Yeah,
Jersey.
you just in Jersey.
But somehow they took a boat from like a lake to
I know.
I don't know.
A
how
lake-
they got there.
A lake to an ocean?
Yeah.
Speaking of
Maybe
lakes,
New
the
Jersey
lake
would
she
do
was in that little canoe, that was just a treacherous lake she was
And
in at
it-
the end, right?
That wasn't Crystal Lake, right?
No.
You could wade
That was
into
a
that
pond.
thing. You could
And there was
wade
like
into that
those
lake.
those branches. There
But
was
they
no
were
way
all over the place.
Yeah,
Hitting
it's
the
like, there's
boat
no
every
way-
time she
you could barely move. And
And then that fucking duck started flapping.
oh, yeah.
its wings and
I was
scared
like, would a
her.
duck really fly by a human like that? I don't think it would.
It might.
Anyway,
It might.
this is
Not like this.
my third favorite Friday the 13th movie. I'm going to give it like a 70 on the Friday the 13th scale. I mean, based on like a real movie.
That's a different
it's
scale.
Real
That's a
movie, it's like a
different
50,
The Friday,
but
the Friday 13th scale.
Like
That's-
I
yeah.
watched this movie 2 weeks ago. I watched it today. I'll watch it next Friday the 13th if it's on AMC.
Hopefully you'll catch a 4 again.
Yeah. Oh, 4. 4 is much higher. 4 is like Empire Strikes Back. Like I'll put that right
Wow.
up there.
That's heady, man.
When does 4 come out?
That
we might
is
get that next
heady.
year, right?
Next year. That might actually come out in 84.
All right, so we might have to wait 2
There might
years.
be a
for that,
year
yeah.
break
All right.
because they had to get the budget for that because that had
You had some
Anyway.
bigger names, yeah.
it's a 70, but it's on a scale.
Yeah.
It's a sliding
a
scale.
sliding,
70.
a big sliding scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to use that same Friday the 13th scale, and I had 60%, so I was hovering around the same as you
Okay,
guys.
yep.
I feel the same way. This is a fun one. I think the 3D makes it a little more fun.
How was that 3D when you were watching it today? Good.
But the 3D was bad today, but it was so bad that, like, because I'm watching it regularly, I was like,
man.
that's supposed to be
It
3D.
was so
There it is.
dumb how it looks so
They couldn't
obvious.
wait to do it. You know, they were setting up the scene. They're like, ooh, what's it going to be? Popcorn. Hey! And
And
it's just
a
like,
mouse running that shit. Hey! All jump scares. All but
a lot
terrible
of
jump scares.
fake scares, too, like where you.
Lots. Like I said before, no one died for like 45 minutes,
Yeah.
so there were a lot of fake
A lot of
scares.
hand walking.
Oh, Andy. Poor Andy. Jason
Split
killed-
from the
They don't-
split from
from
the
his
ass
A-
to the
from-
head.
From the A to the M.
They don't
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
They don't discuss why he does that, right? Like it's just
No. Because why would they do that?
I
They
don't
don't
know.
do character.
Like,
Maybe he's an
Oh,
athlete.
we didn't get any-
Maybe he was an athlete.
I want his background story. I want a prequel.
Oh, for the
Friday
love
the
of-
13th, part 2.5. Andy.
About 2.5, the podcast. Wait, it could happen.
Andy Boogaloo.
Andy Boogie.
How about do you want me to read the episode that just dropped, or do you want me to save that for the next podcast?
Actually, do we have like the Rotten Tomatoes Friday the 13th?
oh yeah, I didn't give the
scores
Rotten
and shit like
Tomatoes. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes critics or audience? Which one do you want first?
Audience is always higher.
Audience.
that? Yeah. The critics are 0.
All
and
right.
the
So do you
critics-
want to guess? All right. How about you guys guess?
I say audience is 68.
60. I would say 70.
Okay, everybody
say
guess
70.
that one first. We'll do that one first. 68, 70.
70.
I'm going to say.
Don't say 2.
75.
I'm going to say like 55.
All right, 55. So I'm not going to tell you what the answer is yet. And now the critics.
33%.
40.
I'm going to do 55.
You're a movie critic and you're watching this to tell people what. No one's giving this a positive. I'm going to say 0. It's a
Okay.
It's a 10.
Read it.
It's a 10.
Read it.
10,
What
10,
did you
10.
say? 10?
10. I'm gonna
Okay.
say 10.
Rotten
Read it.
Tomatoes audience is 42. So you guys are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Said 40.
And the Rotten Tomatoes critics, Andy was 7%.
7.
Brilliant.
But you had it.
Who gave that
Who's-
a positive review?
But that's like you said. Some people are probably like, "This is fun because it's part of the franchise. I enjoy the franchise."
And that's
where
I want to
you get the
see the
positive.
Siskel and Ebert episode where they discussed Friday the 13th Part 3, and they're like, "So, Gene, what did you think about this?"
Was that pre-jaw or post-jaw?
I was thinking it. I didn't know who was going to
very
say
pre.
it. I didn't know who was going to say it. I almost said it, but I was like, let somebody else say it. He said it.
But I mean, Gene Siskel died long before Roger
I know,
Ebert
I know.
had any
Yeah.
health issues. Anyway,
But he wanted to bring that up because it was funny.
I had to. Just because the first thing I think of.
Like when I saw Bobby Heenan at
It's
one of those
Mr.
conventions,
Mr. Jaw-
and he had half his mouth. Like,
Mr.
removed
Jawless.
and everything.
I'm not going that one. I don't like that.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
But we're going to close this one down. I think overall, I think this was a fun watch.
Yeah.
It makes it fun if you're watching like horror movies.
It's-
Watching it at 10 a.m. probably not the smartest.
No, this is a
move.
Halloween movie. We're
Yeah.
watching it at Halloween now. This will come out in September-ish.
Yeah, you guys will all
October-ish.
love it. Yes.
Watch it at that time.
What do you need, Anthony?
Anthony's doing hand
Nothing.
signs.
Nothing.
Anthony
Nothing.
said something about a hand job.
Something about a hand job. Yeah, Dan, come here.
It's a 3D.
No, I was like Halloween. I was like, we should do the Halloween theme on the way out, but
Oh, yeah, but I don't.
But he didn't bring the
That's a
keyboard.
It's a license issue.
He didn't bring the keyboard. No, I think we could do 3 seconds.
Can you?
Yeah, I think we can.
Stop.
That's it.
And then say, Andy goes like, "Hey, Jason."
Yeah, if I played it on the keyboard, then I could.
But you talked about this earlier. The music in this movie,
terrible.
Yeah, really bad.
no one's playing this at their Halloween.
Terrible.
No, not even good in a retro.
Terrible.
No.
It's yeah, good in a retro way, but
Okay.
I noticed it as soon as I started playing it. I'm like, oh
It's
my
just because
God. I'm
also
like,
the way
how
the
terrible
credits
is
came
this?
on the credits.
The 3D kind of,
right,
they're
right.
like coming at you.
It's just it was like overkill right away.
Oh, terrible.
Wow, that was epic.
Terrible.
That was epic.
It was terrible.
You're recording this, right?
oh, yeah.
God damn it. He's not recording this. I quit this fucking podcast.
No, the red light's on.
Speaking of this podcast, happy Halloween! It's almost that time of year.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
From the exciting new podcast, you can find us Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Brian's even got us on TikTok.
And whatever future social medias there are in October
We're on
of this
them.
year.
Whatever's
Stitcher,
coming
that
out. And Grinder. We're on Grinder. I'm Jazoo74 at Twitter. The Jazoo on Instagram.
He's Anthony. He's Dan. I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
A Galetta everywhere.
Day for 6.
Papa
Peace
Bear.
out. Happy Halloween.
AE Gonzo 1. He doesn't like saying it for some reason. He's going to get all the hate mail.
Peace.
Good. Send it my way. Send
We
all the
want
fucking hate mail
Give
my
it to
way.
him. He said, fuck you.
70% you will.